Welcome to the 183rd episode of the So Video Games Podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today, we are recording on May 28th, 2020. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and I am 50% of this here show. With me is co-host and the other half of the show, Carlos Rodella. How's it going, Carlos?
What's up? I'm just sitting here drinking my Jack Daniels and Coke. Thank you very much.
Lovely. Sounds like a nice relaxing evening. I am drinking water.
Oh.
Well, it's important to hydrate, you know. I mean, we are bags of mostly water, as aliens like to call us, and you got to refill that bag of water sometimes.
Hey, you're making me feel bad now. Okay, I'll go get water too.
Water chaser to that Jack and Coke.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, folks. Well, you know, we don't like to bullshit around. We don't like to stick the front of the show full of filler. So we're going to get right to the games in just a moment. But before we do that, we have a couple of items of housekeeping. First off, I don't know if I sound different to you at all, but just FYI, last week after we recorded episode 182, I accidentally dropped my microphone really hard on a concrete floor, and I think that there may be a wire loose inside of it. I'm going to replace it, but I didn't have a chance to do that yet. So we are recording with my potentially broken mic. I just wanted to give you a heads up and apologize if I sound weird or if the audio this week sounds worse. So sorry about that. I will try to get a replacement ASAP, and hopefully it's not too bad.
The word on the street, by the way, was that you threw it. You threw it out a window.
I mean, I had a little bit of rage, real brief, intense rage. I don't know about what. It probably just, life, politics, the world, something. And I just, the thing at hand was the microphone. Don't throw your mic. Don't break your stuff. It's not good. These things are expensive to replace. All right, Carlos, that's all I have for housekeeping. You've got a couple quick things, and then we're going to talk about games. What do you got to clean house on?
Just a couple of things. One, we had mentioned Mafia 2 and how I had so many issues with that game with all the bugs.
Yes, last episode.
And then an article went out. But of course, I didn't do the research on my housekeeping. I forgot what website that was. Maybe you can look it up while I'm saying the words, because I sent it to you. But an article came out and basically just said all the same things that I said in our podcast, which was the audio was in the left channel for some reason, and it was only in the left ear, and there was all these sort of hiccups and glitches, and basically most of the stuff that I was saying, that it wasn't really a true remaster, and it had like some really glaring problems, like the 2K logo. They had that same thing that I had, where the 2K logo was up in the right-hand corner, and it was blocking some of the actual game itself. So I felt vindicated that other people had a terrible experience.
Well, I'm glad that you're not alone. You were not imagining that. I've heard several people say the exact same thing. I am frantically trying to look up that info, and I cannot locate it, but I do. Oh, there it is. Nope, that is us talking about that. We were not quoting ourselves. Was it Push Square? I think it was Push Square.
Yeah, that sounds right.
.com. Good people over at Push Square. Hello, Push Square people. There was an article written by Liam Croft on last Sunday, it looks like. And yes, he outlined many of the same issues you were talking about. So it definitely sounds like the less than satisfactory quality of this port was not great. Probably explains why they didn't do a whole lot of PR about it. I suspect that they probably knew it was a bit of a dog. So vindication for you.
Vindication for me, and I think that they're going to be doing a lot of PR and talking about Mafia 1 when that comes out, because that is, again, truly a built from the ground up game. So I'm excited about that still.
Excellent.
The other thing was there was an article on your website or our website or whatever it is, GameCritics.com.
You're part of it. We're all family here. You're included.
Okay. GameCritics.com, one of the video games best websites in the universe.
The best website on the world.
Okay. Or universe. So, anyways, on that site, someone reviewed Telling Lies, and we had mentioned that on this podcast, and I had mentioned how I got started with the game, realized it was her story too, and decided to exit stage left and never to return. Yet, who was it that reviewed it for you?
It was good man Jared Johnston. He reviewed Telling Lies for us, specifically the PS4 version. He ended up really liking the game a lot, but he said that he disliked the PS4 version because of interface issues. So he definitely recommends the game, but he recommends it on PC because of mouse and keyboard is apparently the best way to play it.
Yeah, and that made sense. That part of the article I agreed with, because essentially the game is you as characters looking at a computer screen. So you'd want to play it on a computer screen. That was not my main issue with it, though. And so what's interesting is he didn't bring up the part that the actual gameplay is just hunting and searching for words, which, again, if you're into that and you liked Her Story for that, then you will like this game. But for me, that's the part that made me exit stage left.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm a fan of it either, but I definitely know more than a few people who really got into it. So, I mean, it just could be one of those things where, it's right for some people, not right for others, and it just so happens that game is not right for the So Video Games podcast.
Right, and that's why I bring it up, because who knows? Everything's subjective, like I've said before. You might love it, so take our words with a grain of salt.
Yes, absolutely. And that's true of anything.
Although, wait, hold on.
Right.
I know I say that, but then there was a specific episode where I said something like, well, take our words with a grain of salt. And you're like, no, this is actually just bad.
Well, I mean, when I'm correct, then no, you don't need salt for that. It's just correct. But if there's some subjective thing,
right,
then salt is appropriate. But if it's me just giving you knowledge, then no, don't take salt for that.
Wow, I'm confused by that statement. Let's move on to video games.
Let's move on to video games. All right, down to the main event. We've got actually a fair number of games to talk about tonight. Let's start off with you, Carlos. Curse of the Dead Gods. Full disclosure, this was something that PR sent to us a while ago for you to look at. And honestly, I don't know very much about it at all. I know that you were planning to hit this for a couple episodes. We got sidetracked, but we're going to talk about it right here, right now. Pretend like I don't know anything about this game, because honestly, I don't. Curse of the Dead Gods, what is it?
Yes, it's from Past Tech Games, and it is, I think, still in early access. I believe when I just booted it up again to relook at it, it still had the early access messaging. So check that out, see if it's still I think it's just not finished. But that being said, there's enough to enjoy the game as it stands. So what is this game? It is a roguelike, and full disclosure, as you say, I am not a fan of roguelikes. I want to run screaming away from them at every opportunity.
That is so funny. I had literally no idea it was a roguelike at all. I I would have steered you away from it if I had known that's what it was.
Well, I don't think either of us knew, and that's fine. And there's some really cool positives that I will posit to you. Ooh.
That was pretty cute.
Wordplay. So first off, you'll love this because you already like roguelikes. This has a great art style. A very, very cool, almost comic booky, cell shady. And
yeah.
But it is done perfectly. It's almost like, when there's a really good font and every single letter looks amazing.
I don't think anybody has ever said that sentence to me in my life. When there's a really good font.
Fonts, yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna mark this on my calendar right now.
Are you a fan of
Helvetica? Font.
Then let's talk. But it's apt. It's apt, I tell you, because what I mean by that is every single thing they've done in this style works. So like a cloak or a weapon or the dungeon or the ground to the dungeon, all of it has a style and all of it works together. That's
okay.
it.
I have seen pictures. It did look pretty neat. Now, if I recall correctly, correct me if I'm wrong. This is it a top-down sort of a thing? And it's kind of 3D, isn't it? It's not pixel-based.
It's not pixel-based. No. It's just really cool, cartoony comic booky style art, and it's that Diablo-esque, whatever we want to call it.
Isometric sort of.
Isometric.
Okay.
And your character's pretty small on the screen, so do know that. And essentially, you start the game, you have this area, that's a hub area. You can unlock unlockables there, which are basically just upgrades that you'll win throughout the different dungeons. And they're just one big-ass door. And you just go in big-ass door, and you can choose short mission, medium mission, long mission, or hard mission, which I guess is just longer? I don't know. I haven't got that far. But essentially each mission or each little map, when you pick, let's say you pick short in the beginning, a beginner one, they'll give you kind of a layout of the dungeon, and it's got 3 different starting points. I don't know, maybe sometimes it's 2 or 3 or 4, but it's different starting points. And along the map is a line of the things you'll encounter in the dungeon. So the first one, say, is gold. The next one is a sword or some sort of weapon. The next one's some totems. And then you can move to the right and select a different track. And now this
So they're telling you this ahead of time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before you even go in the door, this is kind of like you're deciding which one you're going to do, which map you're doing.
Okay.
And so I picked the one where the weapon is going to be the first drop. And so then I can get gold later because I wanted to get a weapon right away. So then if you go open the door, you pick the map you want, you open the door, you go inside, you play that area, which again is just one room essentially. It's very much like Dungeon of the Endless. But but bigger because that one was really, I saw the screen, the real estate was really small. This is like a pretty big room. And you go into that room and enemies will spawn. You got to get through a bunch of waves of them. And if you do, whatever you picked for that kind of reward will pop up. So the first one I beat was the weapon, and it was a hammer. And it was this big-ass hammer, which I love in Melee games. And so I was really glad I picked that path. Now, you have pretty much all the face buttons are attack buttons. One of the buttons is a torch. And the other three buttons on your controller are attack buttons based on different weapons you have. And it's very similar to Diablo. There's cooldowns. You have a parry, and you also have a dodge. And both of those use, stamina as well. So there's a stamina meter. There's cooldown on those. There's special abilities and different weapons that you can get. So that's a lot of stuff. I was a little overwhelmed by how many buttons there were and things I could keep track of. But I guess that's also said of Warhammer and Diablo, right? You kind of just get used to it after a while.
Sure.
So what's really interesting, I think, is one of the key things that stands out for me, besides the art style, it is difficult, so that made me want to not continue very much. But before we get to where I ran away screaming, it's dark. So all the dungeons are dark. Ooh, darkest dungeon.
Oh, no. So is it really hard to see?
Well, here's the trick. Or the rub, as they say. You have a torch, and your torch attacks and does, basic attack, and it also can set things on fire, which is interesting. But you want to use your other weapons. You have a ranged weapon as well, I forgot to say. And you start with, some sort of pistol. So you want to use your other weapons. But the minute you use your weapons, it gets dark. And so then there's a couple lighting things in the room, so you can kind of go towards a little torch.
Wait a minute, are you saying that you put your torch away when you use your other weapon, and therefore your light source goes away? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, dude, okay. Pause for a second, because that is the thing that's going around in these circles these days.
Is it?
I just played West of Dead. I think that there's a beta we talked about on the show a couple episodes ago, and that was another mechanic too. It was really dark. You had some weapons that had light, and then when you fired, sometimes it got really dark. And I don't like darkness as a mechanic in any video game, because fucking video game. I need to see the video part, and just being dark and squinting at my screen is dumb, and it just makes me turn the brightness up to 11 anyway. I don't dig it. I really don't dig darkness in games.
I guess I could have done that. I didn't do the brightness thing. Well, no, it's interesting because I think it's funny you say that, because I haven't experienced it in a game before. You have in multiple games, it sounds like. And
dislike.
And I've never had that experience. So for me, it was kind of novel, and it was interesting because when it's dark, it's not so dark I can't see anything. And when any sort of thing like a gunshot happens, or the monsters themselves, I can see their outline. I don't feel like I'm totally off guard. It's not just darkness and then I'm getting hit. So,
right.
But it's an advantage. It's a pro and con. You're well, I should hold on to my torch for a little while, light up some things, light something on the wall, make something catch on fire, and that'll light up the room and hurt them for a while, and then I can use my main weapons for a while. It didn't really bother me. And again, to me, it was kind of interesting. The biggest problem is, this is tricky. I do not like melee games where, well, one, if a stamina cost is too high, then I feel like I'm kind of handicapped.
Right.
And the dodge, which is a great dodge, it seems like it uses quite a chunk of stamina. I got by with that, reserving it. But the bigger one was there's no healing in the beginning of the game. Later on, you get totems that give you percentage of healing or something. But early game, that's just fucked. You're basically well, I'm going to die. Because you're going to get hit so many times no matter what. and you can dodge and parry all you want. So that's really the reason I stopped playing it, because I really was into the art style. I like the tactile feel of it, like when a melee game or just any sort of like dungeon game gets it right. I feel like you want to keep hitting things, and it does a mini slow motion when you kill an enemy, which for me goes a long way. I just need a little mini slow-mo in my life, and I love it. So it feels really good to play, even with the darkness thing. The reason I stopped playing and just said, like, I'm out. Like, I don't know if I can come back, and maybe the developers can help me out here and tweet me and tell me what I should do. But to my knowledge, the healing doesn't happen until later. So it's like, get good, which I always hate that shit, and then later on you'll get stuff that will help you make it easier. But then why the fuck do I want to keep going?
Well, a couple of questions then. So this sounds interesting. I mean, you know me. I play all the roguelikes. So I'm always... I like that genre a lot, and I like to see what people do with it. So I guess my first question is, I mean, you mentioned that they show you ahead of time what you get and that you prioritize getting the weapon first. Is it possible that, like, it's just randomly generated, and maybe if you tried a couple more times, you could get a roll where a healing totem came up first, and you could like prioritize that instead of a weapon. So maybe that would change it for you.
That'd be cool. I've played it many times now. I played it back when I was first going to review it, and then I played it again today, just kind of get a refresher. And every time the starter dungeon, again, not even like second or third, the starter dungeon always had either gold or a weapon as the first like 2 or 3 rooms. And again,
so you wouldn't immediately get like a healing thing.
No, I don't think you're gonna ever, unless again, maybe the 4th or 5th time I did it today, I would have got the healing one. But it seemed like they were further down the path. It was like, hey, get really good at this, the mechanics of running and shooting and not dying, and it's fine. I might give it another shot because again, it did feel so fun, and I have a feeling that you'll like it quite a bit. But maybe you won't because of that darkness thing, though.
I really dislike darkness in games. I really dislike it. One more question for you, man.
Yeah.
So one thing... Okay, so 2 questions. I lied. First of all, what kind of progression or permanence is there? Like, do you unlock something, do things get unlocked? Do you do like 5 runs and you unlock something and then you're stronger for the next time? And also, as you're playing, like, did you notice, like, are the pickups interesting? Like, because... pickups can really make or break a roguelike. If you get cool weapons and they make you stronger and they're interesting to use, they can really keep you energized for like many more repetitious runs than you would if you were just kind of doing the same thing over and over. So like the variety and quality of pickups is really key in a lot of roguelikes. So what were the pickups like? Was it interesting? Did it keep you going on that note? And also, what kind of progression, if any, is there?
Yeah, I would say I didn't live long enough to know if the pickups are good enough. So let's just put that out there, right? I ate shit a lot, but the hammer that I got felt cool as shit. You know what I mean? Like I felt real happy with. We'll talk about this later when we talk about Fallout. But I'm a big fan of hammers in video games, and this one was great. It felt great. It was a little slower, but it did more damage. I have a feeling that the pickups are going to be pretty fun. The problem is I couldn't get to all of them. To your second part, I think because it is not finished. The what you call it, the progression, but
progression,
that progression I don't think is done. There is some very limited thing. I'd opened up like 3 slots. You get these skulls, and then you use the skulls as currency to open up essentially upgrades. And like one of the upgrades is if you kill an enemy within a second of seeing him, then you get like fury bonus or something. They're nominal. They're like additional things to make you more badass.
And are they permanent, or do they go away?
They're permanent. No, they're permanent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that I like because that's my big thing with roguelikes. If it just start over again, then I'll see you later. But so there's that, and there's another tab that I don't think. There's a couple other tabs that I think they're still working on, and that's why I know that it isn't finished because now I'm just recalling that those tabs are
just
done.
like blank spots in the menu or something.
Yeah. It's like game, go here. No. It's
gotcha.
The second one is also something that's active. But you have to get further in the game to unlock that. So, yes, there's definitely some of that progression. Again, I think you're going to like it. Even with the darkness, I think you still will dig it. And I kind of dig it. It's just, right now I'm going to have to go back and see if I can get a little further to get some healing. Because without healing, I'm not going to torture myself.
Yeah. No, I hear. It's funny. It's really funny you mention all of that because that's going to be coming up for me in 2 segments. We're going to be touching on many of those same issues in a moment. So
okay,
we will circle back. Any further thoughts, or should we move on?
let's move on. That's a game. I think you should check it out if you like roguelikes, and just you got to make sure you deal with the darkness okay, and then you're fine.
All right, that was Curse of the Dead Gods. I'm assuming on PC, correct?
I played that on Steam. Yeah, I think it's
Okay,
out on
cool.
other systems, but we don't do homework.
I'm pretty sure it will be coming to all consoles, but PC was definitely where it was first, so it's probably not out on console yet.
Okay.
All right, moving on really quickly. I have a couple of real quick takes. First, I want to talk about Drake Hollow on Xbox One. It's currently in beta, and full disclosure, I was given a code to talk about it for the purposes of the show. Heads up on that.
Hold on. Is that the hip hop Drake that he like goes to sleep at Hollow?
I mean, it would be kind of cool if it was, but it's nothing to do with that person.
Just checking
at all. It's good to check,
okay.
but no. So this is coming from the people who made an indie game a while ago called, I think it's called The Flame in the Flood.
You hated it.
I hated that game.
Yeah.
I loved the way it looked. I loved the idea. It was a roguelike where you like are rafting down a river and you have to stop on these little islands and collect resources. The graphics were so cute. I love the graphics. The idea was gold. I love the idea of like rafting down a river and collecting stuff. But like actually playing it was like super broken and unbalanced, and I really did not like it at all.
I remember it so much that it's like you must have like really not liked it, because I was like, it's burned into my brain. He didn't like it.
If you remembered, I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. So this is coming from the same people, same developers, and I'm open. Everybody can make a different game. I have no grudge against those people. I'm sure they're all wonderful people. This is a totally different sort of a thing. It's called, again, Drake Hollow. It's currently on beta and Xbox. I think it's probably also on PC, I would imagine. This is like it's a very strange thing. Up front, they told me it was multiplayer focused, but you can play it single player. So I'm like, okay, well, I have zero interest in multiplayer cooperative games like that, but I will check it out on the solo. And you can play it solo. Basically, it's a third person, kind of behind the back perspective. You play a kid. You can randomly generate the kid, or you can design what they want to look like, and you get to this island, and on this island it's surrounded by this like miasma, like this poisonous fog. So you cannot cross the fog. It saps your life if you try to walk through it. So you're kind of trapped on the island. There are ways to get around it, but we'll talk about that later. Basically, when you get to the island, there are little plant creatures that are living in the ground, and you pluck them up, and they're drakes. They're called the drakes, and they are little creatures that I guess give you magic. They give you little buffs if you make friends with them. They also get really bored, and so you have to focus a lot on creating a home for the drakes and keeping them entertained, because I guess it's bad when they get bored. I mean, to be perfectly honest, like the gameplay premise of these creatures get bored, so please entertain them is already boring to me. So I was like, okay, this is not a great premise for me, but okay, I'm going to stick with it. Essentially, this is like crafting the game. You just get to the island. They give you a couple recipes right off the bat that you can make, like a crafting table you can make a toy for the drakes. You can make a bed for the drakes. Wait, other thing you can make. Is this
Drake Animal Crossing?
I mean, sort of, but not really. It's just like, it just seems like a lot of crafting. So you like run around the island, collect some stuff, craft your recipes, make the little beds for the dudes, and the beds like disappear after one day. So I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna have to like remake this bed. Like that's already
wait. We have to stop on that. I'm sorry. What bed goes away in one day?
I mean, right? Like you make this bed and it's made out of like sticks or leaves or something. They call it like the thatch bed or something like that. So I guess it's just like a pile of branches and bushes.
It's not an actual bed. It's just like you
it's
put
not
some
like
leaves
a blanket.
down.
Yeah, I guess. But it's like, it goes away after a day. And I'm like, okay. So they're telling you up front you're going to have to make this thing like 10 billion times. Like that. I don't know that I really want to do that. But I collected a bunch of stuff. You make some stuff. And then they're like, okay, there's other islands around you. And then you can figure out ways to cross them. You can make these little talismans which keep you safe from the miasma, or you can set up these little zip lines and zip over the miasma. But regardless, you go to another island, collect more stuff, look for more crafting recipes, and then you find these little monsters that are there that you kind of do some real basic melee on, and then you just basically want to like keep coming back to your main island and building more stuff. And again, just to reinforce, like this is supposed to be a multiplayer focused game, so I guess ideally like one person maybe would be going out to scavenge for crafting materials. Maybe one person stays at home to keep making more beds for the drakes. Maybe one person is on guard duty in case any monsters show up.
Hold on. It seems that like person making the beds got the shit job.
I mean, kind of, dude, because it is pretty, you just collect a bunch of bushes and push a button and make a bed. Yeah. It's not really the most exciting thing. But I guess that's kind of the point of it. And if you look at the map, there are a series of islands. So I guess you just kind of go further and further away from home base and collect more and more stuff and come back and craft more and more stuff. I mean, it looks cute visually, but crafting is not generally my thing, and multiplayer is not generally my thing. So I think that maybe I am not the person this game is designed for. Like, I could maybe see my son, who is like 10, and a couple of his friends maybe getting together on a weekend and like them having some Doritos and Mountain Dew or something and like crafting for like a couple hours. Maybe that would be cool if you fit that demographic. I do not think I fit this demographic. So it seemed fine, but I just don't really want to craft a bunch of stuff for some animals that get bored.
Yeah.
And I think I would recommend it to younger players or players who definitely like to be online with friends. That's totally fine and fair. That's not a criticism. I just think I am not the right person to play this game.
Right, but or like the Minecraft audience, it seems like, and we're going to be touching on that a little bit later, but Minecraft audience, Animal Crossing, I'm looking at some artwork of it. It reminds me of Concrete Genie, that style.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good call.
Yeah, and so a third person, I think this is a multiplayer game for a younger generation to, it's almost like a modern take on an Animal Crossing but you do some more melee because it does show like some pretty cool monsters. So I feel like
there's definitely some fighting, for sure.
Yeah, you go out and do some fighting, come back, and now you have like resources to build up your thing. I can see an audience for this. It's definitely not you or I. I know that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's fine, and that's totally fine. Like, I want to be really clear, folks. Like, I am not criticizing this game for what it is. I am simply saying I was interested in the way it looked, and I wanted to check it out. And after checking it out, I think that I am not the audience. But that's not a criticism of the game. I just think that it's just not for me, and that's totally fine. So I will shake this game's hand and wish it good luck, and I think we will probably just go our separate ways.
I want to see a video of that.
Post it on YouTube after the show.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's right. I could.
You could literally do that. So that's Drake Hollow, currently on Xbox One in beta. I have one other quick shout out before we move on. Mortal Kombat 11 just put out, I think, their first ever story-based add-on DLC campaign called Aftermath. Are you a Mortal Kombat fan at all, Carlos?
I feel like you should know this answer.
I feel like you're not.
The way I just delivered that, I think, was pretty kind of like in the tone of my voice. Yeah, I feel like on this podcast I've said something like Mortal Kombat
like you don't like
can
the violence,
go eat
right?
shit or something.
Okay, so maybe just like a so-so fan.
Yeah, like I like it a little bit. No,
a little bit.
My biggest problem, which I've definitely mentioned on the show, which now everyone's like shouting at their podcast device, saying,
the fatalities.
Huh?
The fatalities and gore?
Yeah, that stuff just I can't remember. I just like get mad at it, and I just can't see past it. And you're like, but no, it's a really good fighting game. It's got all these collectibles, and I'm like, I know it probably does. There's something wrong with me, but I just can't get past it. Again, let's hear about this DLC though.
I mean, that's a fair point. And now that you brought it up, I'm like, oh yes, we totally had that conversation, and I fully remember it now that you have reminded me of it. But I mean, I'm in the same boat. Just real quick disclaimer: I actually don't like the gore in Mortal Kombat. I think it's a really solid fighting game that is really well put together. It's really gorgeous. There's a lot of content. I think it's just a real like high gloss AAA product. It's really awesome, and it just doesn't need the gore. I've never liked the gore. So I'm not a fan of that. I don't come to Mortal Kombat for the gore, even though I know that's like a large part of its identity, and that sounds crazy. I mean, that kind of sounds like I like a Big Mac, but I don't like the beef patties or something, you know, like it sounds nuts, but I love like that. It is kind of like that. And I just think it's a really fucking good game that it doesn't really need the gore to sell it. But anyway, with that said, I do really love the story mode in Mortal Kombat. Ever since Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and 11, the story modes have been fucking spectacular in all those games. Like, super worth it just to play the single player story mode, because it's like watching a movie that's actually a pretty good movie, and you just play a couple fighting matches once in a while, but it's like really entertaining and good. That's exactly what Aftermath is. They continue the story of Mortal Kombat 11 after the ending. They give you kind of a postscript about what happens after you beat the game the first time. all sorts of stuff pops up. 3 new characters pop up. It's Sindel. Who else is it? Fujin, the god of wind. Shiva, the female Shokan 4-armed fighter. Also, RoboCop shows up, which is pretty fucking bananas. He looks real good. He's got all his signature moves. Voice sounds pretty good. So it's nice to see RoboCop. And of course, this is the version that has the Terminator in it also. So you can do everyone's most desired Terminator versus RoboCop matchup. That is possible.
Can I do a tangent there real quick?
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever brought this up, but another reason why I don't like fighting games lots of times in general, not even just Mortal Kombat, is when they break the whole, lore and world that they've built up. They're like, oh yeah, and also Santa Claus is here. And you're fighting, Batman versus the Joker. And that always bothers me. I don't know. People love it, and they go, oh, do you know you can play as Spider-Man now? And I'm like, yeah, in the world where there's no Spider-Man, I guess. Am I the only one listening? Everybody listening to the podcast, let me know if I'm the only one, which I might be. But for some reason...
It depends. It depends. I totally feel you, right? Like when Spawn showed up in Soul Calibur, I'm like, oh, this is trash. I don't think that's a good idea. Or it was like Yoda showed up in Soul Calibur one time, didn't he? I'm pretty sure that they did, and I'm like, I'm not down with that. But in Mortal Kombat, the extra bonus characters never show up in the story. So if you just play the story mode, it's totally within the lore, within the world. They keep the story really cohesive. The story team at NetherRealms does a wonderful job of crafting the script, and having the dialogue is pretty good, and keeping the action, the fights and stuff. They do a great. I mean, just nobody does fighting game story modes better than Mortal Kombat does. It's the best you can get right now.
Right.
So I think they do a great job. I loved the story in Aftermath. I'm not going to spoil anything about it, but it's a really fun ride. Had a great time. They give you the new characters, which I think Fujin is awesome. I like him a lot. RoboCop is okay. It's cool to see him, but I don't like to play him as very much. And Shiva is kind of in the middle for me. And Sindel, oh dude, I feel kind of embarrassed to say this, but she has such intense hot mom energy. It brought me to my knees. It was really painful. I'm like, oh my god, I'm literally melting with the hot momness of Sindel in this game. It's pretty intense, and I bet a legion of teenage boys across the world are just going to be forever imprinted upon Sindel in this version. Man. It's pretty hardcore. So good stuff. Thumbs up on that. And I like it. It's great. I love Mortal Kombat in its current iteration. I love Mortal Kombat 11. It's a really, really great game. Well put together. Very fun to play. Tons of content with a K. And it's a good package. I blasted through the story mode in I think 2 days. Just got through it, and I just had a real fun time. And I came back and messed around with some of the other characters. It's just a great game. I just really like it a lot. Good things all around. So thumbs up to Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. And I really hope they do more story DLC. Maybe not for MK11, but I think just being able to get some more story. Maybe they could focus on 1 or 2 specific characters next time or something. That'd be great. I love that. I think it's a good idea. I would like to see more of it.
2 bits real quick. One, how much was it? And you say it takes about a couple of days to get through. And how much?
I want to say, so there's a couple different packages. I believe if you already own MK11 and you just want the story mode plus the new characters, I think that comes as a package. I want to say it's $25 or $30 for that as an add-on. It's pretty substantial. And it took me 2 days to get through it. I mean, altogether, probably 4 or 6 hours, maybe closer to 4, depending on how good of a fighting game player you are. I mean, I had to redo a couple fights a couple times, and I didn't just blow through it. So a little bit longer for me, maybe shorter for other people, maybe longer for others. But if you don't own anything and you're just coming to Mortal Kombat cold, you can get the base game Mortal Kombat, and I'm pretty sure it comes with literally everything. I think it comes with all the DLC, all the other characters, and plus the new Aftermath and the new characters. I think that just comes at I want to say it's $60, just like a regular full price game for the all-in-one package, which is a pretty good deal if you do not have MK11 yet.
Okay, and then the other thing I was going to mention is when you mentioned, good story and, the Mortal Kombat universe, I was reminded of Shaolin monks.
Yes, back in the day.
And so I wouldn't mind playing some more games like that style. That was you could attack. It was almost like it was third person, right? And you could attack enemies all over the place and not just one-on-one.
Yeah. For people that don't know what Carlos is referring to, it was a third person action game not a fighting game, but it did take place in the Mortal Kombat universe. You played as Kung Lao and Liu Kang, maybe, I think. I don't remember exactly. It's been a long time. You could pick either one of those characters. You went through like adventure levels and used like adaptations of Mortal Kombat moves. And there was also, even prior to that, there was a 2D kind of action platform game. I think it was like Sub-Zero had a game all to himself.
Oh,
where
that's
you could do
right.
Platforming back on PS1, I think. Oh man, I remember being janky as fuck. But interesting that they tried to spin those characters off into different genres. I don't think it really went anywhere, but very interesting. And maybe the time is right for that again. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm just saying the Shaolin Monk type of gameplay, I think would still work right now, especially with like the renewed sense in MK and people's interest around it. So it's just food for thought.
Well, it's funny you say that because in the story scenes, I mean, this is like, we're talking like stuff that's on the scale of like Lord of the Rings or something, where like there's these giant fucking battles, like hundreds of people on screen, all sorts of chaos happening. Like it's really crazy. So they already show you that a lot of these characters would be really good at like doing like crowd control moves or like fighting a group of people at once or, cutting through an army or something. So you could easily map that to like a third person game. It would, just like you said, it would totally work. Like you would just have to, just change it up and focus on that. But the characters, the powers, the world, it's basically ready to go. You would just have to get a good third-person engine.
You heard it here first. So Video Games Podcast has created a new Mortal Kombat game. You'll look for it soon, and we hopefully will get a kickback.
Hopefully so. We'll see.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, NetherRealm, if you're listening, our pockets are wide open. Feel free to drop a couple dollars in there.
They're like empty. You could like fit anything in there. Like, I don't know.
I mean, times are hard right now. I mean, all over, dude. Like coronavirus and shit. I could use a couple extra bucks. So, all right, moving on. I'm going to let you kick off this next section. We both played this game, but I will let you take the lead. Minecraft Dungeons just came out on, I believe, every system. I played it for free on Game Pass. I assume you played it on PS4?
I did play it on PS4, and I'm still playing it on PS4. Spoiler.
All right. It's also on PC. It's also on Switch. So you can basically get your Minecraft Dungeons on anywhere. Carlos, what is Minecraft Dungeons?
It's a dungeon game with Minecraft.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Next game, then. I guess
Moving on.
Fallout 76 coming up. No, Minecraft Dungeons is pretty much Diablo meets Minecraft. And so it's kind of a easy peasy dungeon game. You're going through different dungeons. It's a hack and slash game. It's not Minecraft. There's no crafting. I mean, there's barely mines.
There's no crafting and there's barely mines. No, that's pretty good, dude. That's pretty good.
Here's what's interesting. So the game is that same 3/4 view, essentially isometric top-down view of a little Minecraft person. You can choose one of, 15 different bodies. No real customization besides that. Although they had one that looked like me. And it did. I was like surprised. I was like, wow, that's actually what I would usually pick. So you start off the game and it's just this kind of relaxing, simple, especially in the beginning, Diablo light, where you are knocking down creepers. You got a little sword. You have bow and arrow early on, so you have the kind of ranged weapon. It feels very good. Everything, when I first started this, felt totally intuitive. Felt like they spent their time working on the interface, the sound effects. It's like that thing I've said before in other games we reviewed, where it reminds me of a mobile game where there's this great satisfaction when you hear a certain sound in a game. And when you do a certain action, when you kill a certain thing and it blows up just the right way and it drops you the loot, there's something to that. There's like an art to that. And it has a lot to do with UI design. But
every sound designer across the world is nodding their head in agreement with you.
Yeah. It's a big fucking deal. And it really makes this whole experience, to me, still playing it, very relaxing. It's, again, simple. Like, you pick up an item that you want to eat and that will give you health back right away. There's no, like, storing of things. You have a health potion you can use, but essentially most of the healing in this game takes place after you kill an enemy. He'll drop stuff. There's also, like, loot drops in general. So you'll get rare items and, legendary weapons, that kind of stuff. And then every single area or map that you pick to go on a quest is randomized and but has like key features that I think are in all of them. Does that sound right?
Yeah, like there's a base model, and then each one has little modifiers that maybe are randomly generated, right?
Right. And again, back to the UI, they do a great job of showing this little arrow that says, "Hey, go over this way. This is the way towards the end of this level." Or and if you get lost, like because there's a lot of different kind of paths, you always see this little indicator that says, "Just go this way." So because you can get lost and just kind of be killing too many enemies, and there's no real reason. You should try to get to the end of the level. So the whole goal is you do these different maps, and you're trying to get to the end of the map, and lots of times there's a boss near the end of it, and then you get out the door and you've beat the map. And it seems like to me the overworld has only about 8 or 9 of these maps. And then the idea, I believe, because it's not finished, is that you can play all those maps again on a higher difficulty to farm for loot, etc. And then there's a special little island that says coming soon, more games, basically more like maps and stuff like that. So I don't know if I did a good job of describing it, but again, it's Diablo with Minecraft, very chill. It gets difficult a little bit, but in general I'm having a darn good time with it.
Yeah, that sounds about right, and that's kind of what I walked away with. I mean, I was very happy to see this pop up on Game Pass because I don't think I would have bought it, but with Game Pass you only subscribe and then you get whatever's on there for free. So I was happy to download it, give it a shot. It kind of matches up with what I thought about Drake Hollow, although I think I'm more in the Minecraft bucket than I am in the Drake Hollow bucket. I do like Diablo-like games, but they have to really click with me. I mean, the last one that I really loved was Inquisitor. We talked about that endlessly on the show. That was a really wonderful one. This one is good. Like, it's nice and solid. I think it's straightforward. I admire how straightforward it is. But it didn't, like, super click with me. I think I did 3 levels, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I think this is cool, but I'm good. Like, I don't want to play any more of it. And I kind of moved on from it. I don't know if I'll be back unless, like, my son wants to play it with me or something. Like if he wanted to get into it and wanted a buddy, like that would get me back into it. But I'm like, okay, this is fine. But I think again, like Drake Hollow, maybe it's shooting for a younger demographic and probably a demographic that likes to get together with friends. I would imagine this game is a lot more fun with friends. I played it solo and I thought it was just fine. But it just didn't light me on fire enough to make me want to come back and put more time into it. So I think it's good. But again, maybe I'm just not the right person for this game.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think even when I was playing it, I was like, okay, I know this isn't for me. Like, I booted it up and I was like, yeah, no, I know. This is for the younger audience. I get it. But the world is fucking crazy. You've obviously been watching. And so anything that can just kind of take your mind off it, and also that isn't like, we review a lot of games in the show, and a lot of them are pretty heavy duty. Like, we get into the weeds with story, right? Like, we play psychological thrillers and intense shooters, and I'm like, well, now isn't this little game nice? Like, hi there, Minecraft Dungeons. How are you doing? And I know that sounds patronizing, and I'm talking down to Minecraft Dungeons, but I'm not, because it did all the things that it needs to do. I got my little upgrades. I got my dog armor. Early on, I got dog armor, so I look like a dog. And that's always a plus. And then you get familiar. So I got a dog. I had a little dog chasing me around, and he was helping and killing zombies for me. And I had dog armor on, and I had a rare bow. And I was like, yeah, that's about right. I like how this feels. And
I agree with you, actually. Like, I think that you are correct in saying that it's a really good, like, it is kind of chill. I mean, I did get killed once or twice because I just got really careless. Like, I went into it thinking it was going to be a cakewalk, and there was a few sections when I got overwhelmed pretty quickly, and I kind of got surprised. So
yeah,
it's not
ramp up. It can ramp up.
Yeah. It's not totally brainless. I mean, you got to like pay a little attention and don't fall asleep at the wheel like I did. But it is relatively chill. It's very benevolent looking. Like, there's nothing scary about it. There's nothing harsh. And so if you want something that kind of just to take your mind off it and maybe, focus on it, but not require too much focus. But then again, it's interesting enough to keep you going. It's not totally brainless. Like, it does hit a pretty good middle ground. So if you want like a Zen kind of I need to think about something besides the real world game, I think this is a pretty good fit for that.
Yeah. And I want to say 2 more things about it. One, because I love melee games and I love finding glitches. I really wasn't trying to, but I found a melee glitch immediately where if you roll and also are shooting the arrow, you can slide forward while shooting the arrow, shooting your bow, whatever, like you're shooting your bow and arrows. And yeah, if you roll and like hit trigger at the same time, you can actually be shooting while moving forward, like in a sliding motion. It's pretty badass. And it's
gaming the system already. Gaming the system.
Yeah. Pro tip: Carl says, do a roll, do a dodge roll, and then shoot your bow and arrow, and you'll be able to slide. Secondly, the only thing that I'll say negatively, it's a Minecraft game. Maybe just let me break a few fucking bricks. I like, it's the first thing I thought of when I got to Minecraft game. You load the game in, they give you a sword. I go, okay, let me cut this bush down. Let me fucking hit a tree. Nothing's breakable in this game.
It's fucking funny you say that because I had literally the exact same thought because I'm like, okay, it's Minecraft. I went to go hit a building or something and I expected it to bust into blocks and like literally nothing you can break. And I'm like, what? That's it looks like they took the visuals of Minecraft, but they absolutely did not take the Minecraft, the crafting or the mining or the breaking of blocks or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I get they want to keep it straightforward and streamlined, which of course, but like, it's really weird that they decided to leave that aspect of it behind.
And I was going to say, essentially what it comes down to is it's like a skin, right? It's the Minecraft skin
exactly,
on a game that is pretty much any indie Diablo game ever, right? We've probably reviewed 8,000 of these Torchlight type games. By the way, it's Torchlight. That was a much easier description of this game. This is Torchlight with Minecraft skin. Now,
yeah,
what's interesting, though, is you can beat some bigger bosses or, like, bad guys, and they do break apart into littler guys. And I was like, well, there it is right there, though. Because that's the technology that I wanted to see in some, materials. So they do have the ability. They just didn't really want to, I don't know, I guess complicate the game engine, or maybe it got too cost heavy or something when they're working on it. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because, this kind of also makes me think of Dragon Quest Builders a little bit. Mm-hmm. It doesn't necessarily feel like it, but like in Dragon Quest Builders, how you could demolish huge portions of the world and you would craft things and you could get resources and, there was definitely combat and all that, but you were also kind of like mining for things and building things. It's really weird that they decided to not do like any of that. I mean, maybe it's coming. Maybe that's what's going to be in the island, or maybe they're going to expand the game later. But just from the get-go, one of the biggest aspects of Minecraft just was kind of MIA, which I think is really strange.
Yeah. But by the way, that you do have your own house, though. And you can go to your house. Did you see that?
I didn't get that far. I had a campground. Did you eventually get a house?
No, it's in there. You didn't notice it, but there's like a little door that you could go in, and it's your house.
Oh, I was just by the campfire. I didn't realize there was a house that you could go in.
It's right by the campground. You just have to go around the corner. And I was like, oh, what's this door? And then it was like, this is your house.
Oh, what's in your house?
I think cows or pigs. One of them.
Pigs, just like in real life.
Just like in real life Minecraft, And there's like 2 levels. And I was like, this is kind of cool. Of course, you can't do anything in there and you can't build. And like you said, maybe it's coming. For now, it's a Diablo Light. It's fine. Like, it's a fine game, and I'm still playing it. So, that's
cool.
That's
I am not playing it, and I don't think I will come back to it unless my son wants me to. But I do think that it is good at what it does. Like you said, it's a fine game. I have no real complaints about it. I just don't think it's my kind of game, or it's not right for me at this time. And again, I'm going to part ways on friendly terms here.
It's not yours. It's mine.
Good one.
I'll see myself.
No, that was good. That was good.
No. I'm leaving. I'm leaving the podcast.
All right, moving on. A couple more games here, folks. We also have listener Q&A. I don't know if I mentioned that at the top of the show, but we do have listener Q&A coming up. Before that, though, I have a couple of quick games to discuss. First off, Neo Cab, full disclosure, given a code by, I believe, the publisher for the purposes of speaking about this game, which I'm doing right now. This is another visual novel. I don't know if it came out this year or last year, but it's not super old. It's about you play the role of a woman in the future where there's some kind of like a weird Amazon / Google / Microsoft kind of tech company taking over everything, and they're automating all the jobs. And so people are like losing their jobs. She is one of the last remaining human like Uber drivers, all the other Uber cars are automated, and so most of the cars that people ride are just self-driving cars. And she's one of the last holdouts. She moves to a brand new city to move in with her girlfriend. I'm sorry, with her girlfriend, who it's weird because I thought this was going to be like a lesbian love story in the beginning, and it actually, I guess it's not, or maybe it is, and I haven't got there yet. I guess maybe they're just friends, but to me, it really had kind of a queer love vibe to it, which is totally fine, and I'm down with that. But TBD on that part of it. It's not a dating sim, that's for sure. But it is a visual novel, and so what happens is you get to the city, events happen, I'm not going to spoil it, but basically, apart from the main story, what you end up doing is you pretend like you're an Uber driver every night. And so you go out, and you look at how much fuel you have in your car. You have an electric car, and if you're low, you can drive to an electric refilling station, and you can buy some gas. You have a certain amount of money. You've got to like manage your money. Don't spend too much money on places to sleep or how much electricity you're buying for your car. So you got to manage that. And then you like look at your map, and there's people who need a ride, just like in Uber. And so you pick whichever person you want to pick up. They'll give you like a little picture of the rider and a star rating, and they'll have a little quote about themselves. And then you just see which person you want to drive to and pick up. You pick that person up, and then you don't actually do any driving. Like you just select the location, and then the rest of the game is kind of you looking, like you, the player, looking at your person who's driving and also looking at the person in the back seat. So imagine if you, the player, were perched on the hood of your car and you're looking into the passenger compartment. So you're seeing the driver and the passenger at the same time as they have this conversation when she is Ubering them around. And a lot of it depends on the emotional state of your driver. I haven't quite gotten a grasp on this yet, but sometimes, depending on what you say or what the passenger says, it'll put you into like an angry state or a sad state or an excited state. And that sometimes will prevent you from saying certain things. Like if you're trying to make small talk, but you're really mad about something, it won't let you choose like the really like neutral responses. It'll force you to say like an angry response because she just is like feeling really emotional at that time. Or if you're feeling really sad, then you can't pick a happy response. I don't exactly know how that works because sometimes when I'm playing the game, the character is feeling things that I am not feeling as a player. And so it's a little bit of a disconnect when I want to pick something that I think is appropriate, but the game is telling me is not appropriate. But otherwise, I think it's actually really fucking interesting. The graphics are great. It's very cartoony / realistic style. Like everybody's looks like real humans and they have like normal flesh tones. They don't look like CG. They don't look like plasticky. It's kind of like looking at a very nice like cartoon, but a very sophisticated cartoon look to it. Everything is really smooth, and it's kind of fun just watching the car drive around, kind of relaxing, listening to a conversation as the world is kind of whizzing by outside your window, and you just kind of just talk about whatever's happening. And it's a really, really interesting thing. At the same time that you're Ubering people and talking to them about their shit, there is a main storyline that you are trying to figure out. I don't want to go too much into that, but it has to do with this friend who is a girl or your girlfriend possibly, or maybe just a friend. There's a storyline to do with that that's kind of separate from doing the Uber stuff, which kind of keeps things going. But overall, basically, you're just being a futuristic Uber driver talking to people who get in your cab, and that's just like what the game is. And honestly, I think it's pretty cool. I'm kind of digging it. I've been playing before bed. It's pretty chill. You can do 2 or 3 rides a night and just kind of like have those convos and see who these people are and what they're about. And it's just pretty laid back, and I like it. There's been a lot of really good visual novels this year, or at least that I've played in like the last 6 months. And this is like the 3rd or 4th, like really good one that I'm really into so far. So haven't finished it, but like it a lot. And so far I would definitely recommend it.
And what's it on again? You're playing it on when?
I'm playing it on the Switch, but I believe it's also on every platform. I'm pretty sure it might even be on iOS too.
I got to get into more visual novels. You're the one on the podcast who plays them more than I do. It's not like I don't want to. I feel like I haven't had one that's like hooked me. I'm not sure if Emotional Uber Driver is going to be the one that does it, but that wasn't a knock. I have a question about the emotional part. What gets you emotional? Like how does that even come about? Like why are you angry or sad?
So one of the big issues in this game is that everybody is like kind of upset about this big tech company taking over, right? So like a lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of like your driver, I may be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure that like she lost a job because of like this tech company taking over. So she's forced to become an Uber driver to survive, and so she's mad about that. So like if somebody who's like really pro tech gets in her cab, she's like, oh, fuck you, tech bro. Like you don't see the human cost in what you're supporting. Like you're not thinking about the people. So like when somebody like that gets in your car and you feel aggro against them, there was this one guy who got in your car and he immediately like pukes in the back of your car and like your character's like, oh my God, what's that smell? What's happening? And that guy's like, oh, I didn't puke. It was back here. And she's like, fuck you. There was no puke in my car until you got in the car and I saw your head go down. You fucking puked. He's like, no, I didn't. And so you like get into a fight with him. I mean, that part, I was fucking angry as hell, dude. Because he was being a complete
hearing
douche.
it now. Yeah, fuck
I was like,
guy.
oh, you motherfucker, you puked in my car. And you're like, you're denying it, like he got. And the worst part about it, though, was like you're fighting with this asshole. He's being a total fucking dick to you. Oh, I was like so angry. And after he gets out of the car, he's like, fuck you. This is the worst ride I've ever got. Like, he fucking 1-stars your rating and it totally tanks your rating. And then my company sent me a warning and they're like, oh, if you dip below 4 stars, we're going to fire you. And I'm like, what? That asshole puked in my car and he gave me a 1-star rating because he blamed it on me. Like, fuck that guy. And I'm like, I can't lose my job because of that fucking douche. So that to me got me angry, like really angry in person because I know people just like that. But that's the kind of thing you do.
I understand what she's going through now. Like, that's all I needed. You answered my question. She just, how about this? The real answer is she responds to life. Like, if someone's a douchebag and is part of the reason why she lost her job or vomits in her car, she's mad. Got it. I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's NeoCab. I haven't finished it. I really dig it so far. It's really interesting. If you're looking for another good visual novel that's not exactly the same kind of Japanese style that we get all the time, this is definitely more of a Western style, trying something new. I like it a lot so far. So thumbs up to NeoCab. I have one more quick name drop of a game. Getting back to stuff we talked about with our first game, which was Curse of the Dead Gods. This is a roguelike, top-down, pixel-based, just came out for the Switch today, literally today. It's called Atomicrops, but that's all one word, like Atomicrops. It is a very interesting thing that wants to take top-down shooting, like a twin-stick shooter almost, and marry that to farming. So you have crops that you need to tend and harvest and grow. Animals or mutants and stuff are trying to eat your crops, and then you are trying to defend your crops against, so you want to harvest them yourself, right? So that's the basic concept. And I'm like, okay, I don't know that I've ever played a game that had farming and shooting in the same sort of thing. That's an interesting and novel concept, so I will give this a shot. I gotta say, I really think it's not ready for prime time. It feels to me like an early access game that should have stayed in early release. It does not feel finished. Because a lot of stuff in the game is not explained very well. There are systems that don't make a lot of sense. The balance feels really off. Like things are really expensive and you don't get very much money. So it feels like you're really working hard to like buy a new gun or, just to buy something that you need to buy. Life is really hard to come by. So like you take any damage during a level, it's almost impossible to get life back. I mean, you have to like beat a boss and he'll drop like 1 heart, or you can buy a heart back at town, but it's really, really limited resources. Like you're not refilling your life between levels, right? So like if you take a lot of damage, you just continue on with like a lot of damage. And it's a good game, but like the systems just need polish. Like there needs to be a better tutorial. There needs to be a little bit of story mode. I don't even know if there's even a campaign. I don't know if you can even finish it. And maybe it's just one of those games where you just play it for the experience of playing it. I don't know if there's an endpoint to it. I don't think the economy is very well done. And it's one of those games also where like PR told me, yeah, there's some stuff that's permanent and that you can carry it over, but I didn't see it. I didn't find it. And every time that I died in that game, I got sent back to absolute square one, like keeping nothing at all, just going back to the... Yeah, it's rough, dude. Like
keep moaning.
I mean, please just keep moaning. Don't stop. I mean, go ahead. I am Mr. Roguelike, right? But I like modern roguelikes, and the roguelike of old where they just absolutely kick you back to zero when you die is just not something I'm really up for. I don't think a lot of people are up for it this day and age anyway, because it's like a lot of time wasted if you don't have even anything to show for it. That's kind of... It's a tough sell these days, because a lot of roguelikes are really getting that right. They're giving you permanence, they're giving you persistence, they're giving you upgrades, they're giving you unlocks. Even a little bit can go a long way towards selling you on an experience. And with Atomicrops, I like the way it looks. It's cute. I like the concept of farming things and protecting those crops. I think it's like it's on the right track. I just feel like they sent it to the eShop maybe like a year too soon. I feel like it needs balance, it needs polish, it needs playtesting, it needs a better tutorial, it needs like a story mode, it needs some things that you would expect from other games of this type. And the real problem here is that the Switch is absolutely not starving for roguelikes. There are a lot of fucking amazing roguelikes on the Switch. There's a lot of really good top-down action games on the Switch. It's like the Switch's fucking forte, right? So if you're going to step to that genre, you better come correct. And these guys feel like they're only like halfway doing it. So I feel like in a year, like if they do 2 or 3 content updates, they do a couple patches, like this could be a pretty cool game. Like I want to come back to it like in a year and see where it is. But at the moment, like right now, this game is not ready for prime time. And it's a very miserable experience. I want to like it more than I do. And I just really, really don't like it. And I feel like every time I play it, it's a waste of my time.
It's interesting because, I feel like there's so many, like you said, roguelikes right now, especially on the Switch. And lots of times when we talk about games in the show, it really does come down to timing. Like, right? Like, so games have, like, surpassed movies, but it is similar to that, where, like, where does the movie come out? You know, back in the day, like that was like, is it come out in the middle of summer, the blockbusters, or no, let's push it till November so it's the only movie in the theaters or something. That sounds like the case for this game. Like I'm looking at some pictures of it, and it looks like super interesting and weird and different. And you say roguelike farming simulator, and you're like, oh, okay, that's weird as fuck. But I think a lot of it might just be timing.
Yeah, if this game had come out like when the Switch like launched or something, like maybe that would have been better. But like right now, I mean, the Switch library is fucking hella deep with like really, 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 really good games. And if you're just talking about the roguelike genre, the competition is so stiff, dude. There's so many really amazing roguelikes, and this one just does not even match up. And again, I don't think it's bad. I just feel like it's not ready. I feel like in 6 months, this could be a contender. It is just too soon. It should not have been sent to the eShop right now. And I feel like it feels like an early access game without the early access label, and I can't shake that feeling. So
and it's also on all the consoles, so it's like they went all in. It's like I just noticed that on my PS4 today. So
yeah, it's on PS4, it's on Xbox One, and it's on PC. And I don't know how long ago it came out of early access, because I believe it was actually an early access game, but it was too soon. Like I don't know what was going on. Maybe these people needed money. Maybe there was some kind of contract issue, but it just does not feel right to me. And I kind of feel like it doesn't have much of a chance compared to what else is already on the Switch. So kind of poor time, and kind of like what you were saying, they kind of released this one at the wrong season, wrong moment. So Atomicrops is out today. I actually don't recommend it, but maybe I would recommend it in another 6 months or a year. I feel like it's on the right track. It just needs to keep going down that track.
All right. Oh, and before we leave or before it leaves our memory too much, when it comes to the Uber driver game you're talking about, I was reminded of Johnny Cab. Do you remember Johnny Cab?
Oh, that was from Total Recall.
Yeah. By the way, young people listening, go watch Total Recall. You're going to have
the original Total Recall, not the remake. The original
there was a remake. That's right. No. The original
one
with Arnold.
The one with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. It's real ridiculous, and there's a scene in there about like automated cabs, and there's a little guy named Johnny Cab. So, yeah, just check that out.
Johnny Cab. Yes,
Johnny Cab.
Right.
I have to talk about Fallout 76 before we go.
Fallout 76. Yeah, it's our last game before we get to listener Q&A. Carlos, Fallout 76, there was a brand new update to the base game. So the base game being Fallout 76, Bethesda's Fallout-based post-apocalyptic MMO. They just recently put out Wastelanders, and from what I understand, I haven't played Fallout 76, but from what I understand, the big appeal of Wastelanders is that they finally add NPCs in that game, which I guess it was kind of famous for not having NPCs.
Yeah, and to kind of go over the point of what the game is, it's a instance-based kind of online game, so when you go into your own map, if you're playing by yourself, you might have like 3 or 4 people that are on your map, but that's it. You can actually like control how big of an MMO it is. So I think that's important to note, because I think a lot of people will get confused on what this game is. And if you want to play it more like a regular one-player Fallout game, you really close to can. It's just every once in a while there's like daily events and big challenges that you could do with the people that are on the map, but you don't have to. So that's why I originally was drawn to this game, because I didn't want to play with like 1,000 million people, and I didn't want to play Elder Scrolls. What the fuck's it called?
Elder Scrolls Online.
ESO Online. Nice. What's the other word in Elder Scrolls game that's online? Oh, it's online. Anyways, yeah, I didn't want to play like a multi-massive game. I wanted to play a multiplayer game. I wanted to play by myself. So I love the Fallout series. Diehard fan of it. Played every single game, including the originals when they came out, because I'm that old. And to the point about the NPCs being kind of a big draw for this single player essentially campaign that just dropped. The NPCs were there already. Like the NPCs basically in this map when you first started Fallout 76 were robots. So there were a ton
like literal robots, right?
Yeah, they were like Mr. Handy and all those like old timey 1950s robots. They were everywhere with many different voices and many different personalities. And so NPCs were essentially there. It's just like human being NPCs weren't. And that was fine. It was fine, but at some point you're playing a Fallout game. And yeah, I think people were like, all right, cool. If I'm going to keep playing this game, then there's got to be some real human beings that are not just the other players in the game. So, so this is a 10 to 12 hour single player campaign, essentially. And what's interesting is that I'm leveled almost 20. And if you start the game right away, right now, I just started to play Fallout 76, you can play the campaign as that level too. Because what they really do is they double dip, and it also acts as kind of a mini tutorial. Because, for me, I'm level like 19, and I'm like, I don't want no fucking tutorial. But it was harmless enough for someone who's experienced to be able to just go through the motions of it. But it's like...
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
So one point that I'm not entirely clear on, do you need the Fallout 76 base game to play Wastelanders, or can you just buy the Wastelanders part?
I don't know that answer. I think I'm going to think that you need the main game, and which I think is a $20 or $30 purchase. By the way, it's well worth the money. If you want to spend a gazillion hours in the world of Fallout and you like Fallout, don't listen to all the haters. That's what that is. Like you give them X amount of money and you don't spend any money on their eShop. You just, get the base game. You can be playing Fallout, essentially Fallout 4, forever, right? There's like a million quests. So I find it very fun. I think you need the base game. I had the base game. And yeah, there's a mission I won't spoil because it's actually pretty spoil heavy. And it starts off in the beginning like, hey, build this thing to get the fucking mission started. And I was like, really? I know how to build things. But all right, I get what they're doing in case you're like a newcomer. So I'll say two main things about it. One, when I went back to Fallout 76, it's similar to when you keep going back to No Man's Sky.
Yes, I am very familiar with that.
So we have a similarity of like a big game that we're like, I should like it by now. Let's see what they've added. So I go back in and I immediately remember what I hated, which is you have to eat and drink all the time.
Oh no, like your thirst and hunger meters are crazy?
All the time. And guess what happens when your thirst and hunger goes down too far, Brad?
I don't know what, you die?
No, you get your health and stamina, I think both, they get capped. You know that capping shit?
Lame, yes.
So you have to uncap it, or you're going to have like not enough stamina to do shit, or not enough health to do shit, because you're fucking... Like your health cap is from radiation, which has always been in all Fallout games. But that's annoying when you're dealing with that and your food and drinking. Oh, and by the way, if you're wearing headphones and you're hungry, your stomach growls.
You hear the stomach growling sound?
And I was like, fuck you. I know, I'm like dying over here. So anyways, I hated that. I started the game up immediately because, again, it's a persistent universe, right? So I hadn't done shit, right? And they don't like really fully stop the clock. So I had nothing that I needed in my inventory. I was starving. I had like very little like shitty water, It's got like just
like the dirty radiated
water. So I drink that and I immediately get dysentery.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, I'm hurt of dysentery. I don't have anything. Once you get past that, it's that sim aspect of like, okay, go to the fucking shop, sell all my crap, pick crops from a fucking farm, and now I can go do the mission. So that's strike one, right?
Ugh, that sounds like a drag, dude.
It's a fucking drag, but if I tell you now and you're listening to the podcast, you'll be ready for it, and then you can't. No, hold on. And you can manage it. Like, it's
All right.
it's something you can get past. Because right now, I might jump in later tonight, let's just say. And I got enough stuff now. You know what I mean? Like, there's things in crates. I got a house, and I put some food
So you
away.
get to a point where it's like no big deal, like after a while.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Let's be clear. Let's be clear, because I'm glad you said that. You're still going to have to worry about it. And that does suck, and I'm still not happy with it. But it gets more manageable. Like, right now I have like 5 pieces of chips and an iguana on a stick and a bunch of stuff. So I'm okay for like an hour or two, or maybe an hour.
Oh my god! Real talk, dude. Real talk. Is that anybody's favorite part of Fallout? Is managing the goddamn food and water?
No.
That is so fucking boring and tedious and such. I mean, I know that there's some people who play like the Iron Man mode or whatever, like the true survival.
Oh yeah,
mode,
there's a
but...
survival mode in that too, which I'm never gonna start.
Oh no, thank you. That just like I play games to get away from reality, and if I'm fucking drinking and I mean, like that's the other thing too. Like, is it crazy because when I play survival games, most of the time, it's like, oh, I got to take a drink of water every like 15 seconds, and I got to eat a whole sandwich like every 30 seconds, where it seems like totally out of whack with reality. Like, are you constantly like eating and chugging?
It's off reality, but it's not like constant. So it's in between. It's not good. I'm not saying it's good, but I will say that I can put it away enough and do missions. Like, I was able to get maybe 3/4 of the single player campaign done. And I wouldn't have done that if it was nickel and dime me every second. But it's definitely still a pain in the ass, and I don't like it. And yeah, I don't think it should be there. Okay, so that aside, the actual, like, going back into that world, like, these are the things that keep me stuck in a game. If I have a Fallout game, a first-person game that's in a post-apocalyptic world, it's an RPG, I'm leveling, and there's quests. See you later, world. I'll be in there forever. So I was definitely hooked. Like, hook, line, and sinker back into it. Got really far with the game. Coming up on strike number 2, Brad Galloway.
Okay, I'm waiting.
I get to one of the highest sections, maybe let's say 3/4 of the way through of this main quest that they gave me, that I paid money for.
This game I paid money for.
I did pay money for this thing. And I get to a section of the game where I rescued somebody, and this person's saying, okay, cool, like, why don't you go do this next thing, and then you'll really figure out what's going on. And I was like, thanks. Yes, I would like to do that. And they go, whoa, you're not level 20. And I go, what? What is levels? You know, I thought this is a real world, and I'm talking to a person here. You're an NPC, right? And she's like, oh, yeah, come back to me when you're level 20. Then I'll tell you what to do. You know how quickly you want to drop out of a game when it says that? Pretty quickly.
So it doesn't scale that way. So you can't just go through, like, they definitely require you to hit certain caps or milestones.
You know, I don't know.
Before they'll let you progress.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they scale based on you, you know, and still go like, hey, you're still not strong enough. But then if that's the case, they would scale the enemies. So I think it's a hard cap. Which means, like it. Yeah, you got to be 20, and then, like, you figure it out. So that was strike 2. There's one more strike, and usually that means 3 strikes you're out, Brad.
You're out. That's how the game is played.
That's how the game of baseball is played. But anyways, I go, okay, fuck you, fine. I'm 19. I'm level 19. I'm like, I'll go level up, and you're gonna hate this. I'll go level up, and I'll come back when I'm 20, and that's fine. Then I'll finish this campaign. So I go out into the wildlands, and I find this quest I hadn't beaten. There's like a million quests. And I get to a place where it's a little dangerous, a little dicey, like enemies my level, 19, 25, close to that.
Okay.
I got good melee. I got my big hammer. I'm ready to do it. And then out of nowhere, a monster comes by, and he's level 66.
Oh, shit.
I don't know where the fuck that guy came from. One shot, dead instantly. Like,
oh, man.
I died before I could know that I was dead. Anyways, in this game, it's like Dark Souls where you have to go back and get your shit.
You have to do the corpse run.
Which they drop you pretty close, and luckily the level 66 guy wasn't there. But a pain, right? Then this is all part of the third strike. Then I finally get to said mission to level up to get to finish the fucking thing I paid for, and I have to do this thing where I have to guard something. And, it's counting down 5 minutes. I got to guard this thing for 5 minutes. And at the end of 5 minutes, sorry, this is a long story, but it's worth it. At the end of the 5 minutes, I will have achieved said level 20, be able to go back and actually play the game I bought. All right?
Sure.
So it's at countdown 5 minutes. Enemies start coming at me. They're all my level. Or they're a little less than my level. Like, I'm 19, they're 14. I'm like, I got this. I got a bunch of stim packs. I'm ready. And then 3 minutes come around, and harder enemies come out. And I was like, oh, that's weird, because don't they know what level I'm at? You know, aren't they?
I see where this is going.
Then all of a sudden, level 35 enemies show up.
Oh, man. And that's when the game was over.
And that's when I reloaded 3 more times, and then that's when the game was over.
Oh, ugh. That sounds rough, dude.
What a pain. It's like a tease. It's a carrot and a stick, because in the worst kind of way, I love that world. I love existing in that world. I might not go back to it now because of such a small, like, fuck up in the way they presented it, you know?
And there's no way to know ahead of time. Like in The Witcher, for example, if you looked at the quest list, they would very clearly tell you, like, oh, this quest is way above you, this quest is below you, and this quest is, like, right at your level. So, you know, there was a little bit of variation, but you knew basically, like, what you were in for when you took a mission. Is there no way to know that?
I mean, that's a good point. This was like in a harder area. So could I, go to, like, simplest McSimplersons, like, get 600 experience for getting this tomato for me. Yeah, I'll go look for those, you know? But I'm wondering how many of those I'll have to do before I get to level 20. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. So you're trying to get, like, the most bang for your buck.
Yeah, I was trying to do, like, 1 or 2 good missions, and I feel like that I should be able to do it. But to your point, and to mine, when I got there was nothing that said, like, hey, you're going to get fucked, you know? Like, you shouldn't do this one. It was just like, oh, yeah, just go up and guard that thing for 5 minutes. Yeah. That's my review. I tell you what, if you're, like, already level 20, then you'll have a better time. But I sneaking suspicion, a lot of people bailed in this game and did not make it. Like, I spent a fuck ton of time to get to level 19. So, yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. I guess that's the perils of playing a game that leans towards the MMO direction. Sounds like there's a little bit of balancing or maybe some flagging to do in Fallout 76. But you're out. You're out.
I think. Oh, you know this. Just like No Man's Sky, I want to be out. I'm out for temporary, but there might be something that brings me back in, though.
Well, just like No Man's Sky, you just wait for the next update, and if they add something that looks cool, then you jump back in. I mean, look at me. I went back to No Man's Sky like 5 fucking times, and it didn't take until like the 5th time. So maybe you give it a couple more updates on the Fallout 76, and, a little bit down the road, 6 months, a year down the road, you'll be loving that game.
We'll talk about it soon, I'm sure.
We'll talk about it soon. All right, folks, that is the last of our official games we're discussing right now. We're almost to the end of the show, but before we get there, we do have a couple questions sent in by listeners. We love to get questions from listeners. Thank you all very much for sending these. We're just going to get right to it. Carlos, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First question comes from Thief of Hearts. This is his 3rd of 3 questions. He sent us 3 a while ago. We've been doing them one a week to kind of stretch them out, and this is the final one. So thank you, Thief. Really appreciate you listening. Thank you for the question as well. His question is, there's a Battle Royale deathmatch featuring all of the cartoon/comic villains of your youth. Who gets dropped like a chump first, and who ends up winning in the end?
Ooh, I have 2 good answers for who wins. But
okay.
Who would lose first? Do you want to do who would lose first?
Yeah, let's do who would lose first. So if we're looking at, I mean, cartoons and comics is a pretty wide spectrum. So you've got a lot to choose from here. Who do you think would bite the dust first?
Well, I'm asking if you can go first. So let me think about it.
Oh, yes, I will absolutely go first. So I thought about this for a minute. I mean, there's so many responses I could give. I mean, I think that if we were talking about who would go down first, I mean, obviously it would be like any of those goons from any of those cartoons. Like I think maybe like the basic Cobra soldiers from the G.I. Joe cartoon, like those guys would get taken out like immediately. I think maybe like Gargamel from the Smurfs would probably go down like a chump pretty early on.
Oh, he's got some brains on him though. He would probably come up with some sort of concoction.
I mean, if he didn't have a potion ready, like all his stuff, all his schemes blow up in his face at the end, right?
That's
so like,
true,
I mean,
too.
if he got thrown down, if he was parachuting to a deathmatch island out of a plane and all he had was the stuff on his back, I don't know if he'd do so well. Gargamel might eat it pretty quick.
Any of the
I was
I was going to say any of the henchmen from like any comic book ever, right?
Yeah, any of the generic foot soldiers from like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, those guys would go down in a hurry.
Yeah.
So that's who I think would go down. I have a couple thoughts for who would win, but who do you think would eat it pretty quickly?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to agree with you because we can move on to the much more exciting answer because I think the other answer is more exciting.
Okay, well you go first then. Who would be the people, one or two people who would take it all? Who would come in first place in this battle royale?
I have 4 answers. I'm very excited.
Oh Jesus! Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is exciting. So first one is Felix the Cat, one of my favorite cartoons.
Bag of tricks. I bet half the people listening to this podcast don't even know who Felix the Cat is.
No, but he's popped up in other like modern culture references. He's like on shirts and stuff. He had a cartoon where he had his bag of tricks, but also like anytime he looked at things, he had this little like dotted line that came out of his eye. Right? Like what I guess kind of happened in the old-timey cartoons. And he's like, I'm looking at this. But as soon as he did that, those became physical reality, and he could use those things. Like he could make a ladder out of the thing he was like looking at. Crazy. This guy was like had superpowers.
Have you seen like the super OG, like really old the original Felix the Cat cartoons?
That's the ones I'm talking about.
Fucking bananas, dude. Those are so crazy.
Yeah, I had a DVD of them, and I would watch them a lot. And so, yeah. Felix the Cat, I would also say, I almost wanted to just do like 2 and then you do 2, but you probably only have a couple.
Nah, you go ahead. I only got a couple. Go ahead.
Here we go. Ambush Bug, one of my favorite comic books ever.
Oh my God. I didn't know anybody else in the world read Ambush Bug except for me.
Ooh, and my buddy Jason Sachs knows him. He writes about comics, and we talk about him a lot. He is a trickster. He's ridiculous. He'll break the fourth wall. He might have been one of the first comics to do that, where you were like reading a comic and he's like looking at you, and literally like the next page you turned, like he'd be outside of the comic and it'd be a commercial for some weird like cooking show. You're like, what the fuck is happening? Why is Ambush Bug?
I think it was Keith Giffen that wrote that.
It sure was. That right, yeah, sure was.
He was kind of Deadpool before Deadpool was a thing.
It was definitely Deadpool. Yeah, and by the way,
pre-Deadpool.
I started writing a screenplay for a movie. I would love for that to be a thing. My whole life will be complete if Ambush Bug gets a proper Deadpool treatment.
See, that would suck though, because you and I know that Ambush Bug came first, like way a long time before Deadpool did. But if anything like that came down the pike, all people would say would be like, "Oh, it's a Deadpool clone. He's just copying Deadpool." Well, like he did Deadpool before Deadpool, but like there's you can't follow that now.
We could just show them the comics and they'd be like, "You're wrong." There's things called facts.
Tell me about facts these days, dude. Jeez.
I know. Here's a tangent we're not going to go on, but there are things that are actual things. Okay, 2 more answers real quick, because Ambush Bug would obviously just break the fourth wall.
That's a great. Both your answers like superb so far, by the way.
Ooh, I have 2 more superb answers. Well, thank you. For that.
Shit!
I'm patting myself on the back. I shouldn't have done that. But one more is Mr. Mitzelplix.
Oh yes, from Superman, DC Comics. Yeah,
he would just be like, "Guess what? Everything's different. You're gone," and just like a cloud of smoke would happen, and you'd be like somewhere else, and you're like, "How did he do that?" And so I'm sure he would like do really well. And then my favorite answer is the Beyonder.
The Beyonder
from Secret Wars.
Yes, from Secret Wars. I mean, okay. Keep talking. Well,
he in the issue that I remember, when he was introduced, he could do anything he wants. He's essentially like a god, but he's also like foolish, and he doesn't really like understand his powers. So like one time he like walked to a big building, like a huge like office building, and the guy's like, "Oh, well, everything here, like gold, is really worth a lot." So he's like, "Oh, let's make everything gold." So then he just touches everything and he turns it to gold. But then he killed everybody in that building because he just turned the whole fucking thing to gold.
Right, and everything in it too. Yes.
Yeah, but I think even with his accidents, he would just like destroy because he's a god.
Exactly. Okay, those are all really good answers. Those are actually pretty deep cut, pretty cool answers. I'm very happy with that. Good job, dude. Good job.
Well, I did think about 2 of those beforehand, so.
Well, I did not. Well, I mean, so thinking about this, I mean, I want to say in my heart of hearts that the only answer I can really say is Optimus Prime, because I love Transformers. Optimus Prime is the man. Pivotal father figure in my life growing up, because my actual dad was a sack of shit. So having Optimus Prime in my life was great. And, he's like the leader of the Autobots. He's like so wise. He's so strong, good in battle, can do so much stuff. I mean, I feel like he would be pretty good in a death match. I mean, it's tough when you bring in like the cosmic level guys, because if you're like putting, like regular superheroes or superpowered beings up against gods, I mean, it's like a whole like
I know.
scale.
Maybe I cheated. I don't know. maybe I
I mean,
cheated.
it was a broad question. You could say whatever you want. I think it was fine. You gave whatever answer you gave. That's fine.
And that being said, Optimus Prime would do fine. Like he would just he would kick ass. Maybe he would like.
I mean, top 10 regardless, dude. Like it doesn't
Oh,
matter who you'd
yeah.
have. Easily top 10, probably top 5.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, gosh, I mean, there's so many answers you could give. I mean, I feel like if you're not doing the cosmic, I feel like Wolverine would probably come to the top with the healing and the claws, and he's always been like scrapping so crazy. I mean, he would come back from so much stuff. So I mean, there's a lot of ways you could go. Although I really do think that your Felix answer was a really good one. I am enamored of your Felix answer.
Let's pick Felix as the winner for whatever that is.
He might be the winner. I think he's the winner. Okay. So much for that one. Thank you again, Thief. I love your questions. Keep sending them in. These are really fun to answer. In fact, all these questions that we got today are actually not even game related, which I think are sometimes the more interesting questions. The next one comes from a new listener. Her name is Milana. She says, if you built a themed hotel, what would the theme be and what would the rooms look like? Carlos, you're up.
Oh, that's a really good question. Wow. I want to go second, but oh wait, my first answer is a video game answer. The themed hotel would be TurboGrafx.
That would be a cool hotel.
Because it could be PC Engine stuff, it could be Turbo stuff, it could be all the really cheesy commercials playing on TVs and bonk stuff. I don't know, maybe there'd be different weird foods that were based on the games. I think I might be heaven in that hotel.
See, that was kind of the same answer that I picked because, I mean, it seems like kind of a gimme that, we're a video game podcast. And since this question wasn't specifically related to video games, she didn't say we couldn't say that. I mean, that was the first thing I thought of, like a game-themed hotel where you could have, like, the Nintendo room and you could have the Genesis room and you could have, all those sorts of things and, the themed food. There could be, like if you've ever been to PAX, like, the free play rooms, like, maybe you go down to, like, the lounge and there could be, like a barcade or something, right? Like all these different systems set up. You can play, you can borrow a game and drink a drink or whatever, have some food. That to me would be a pretty dope ass hotel. I would actually really want to go to that.
I'll go ahead. I thought of two more, but you go ahead.
Go ahead. Now you
go. Two more different answers. One just popped into my head is Saturday morning cartoon or maybe like breakfast cereal hotel, like some sort of like you're like a kid and like I might be having a dream right now. I might be in a dream. But like I just saw like Dayglow colors and like stuff that goes with Saturday morning, like from the olden days, like our past essentially, where you'd get up and you eat cereal and like there'd be a lot of cartoons on and I don't know. Maybe that's a shit answer now that I'm thinking it out loud.
I mean, it's kind of a cool answer. Like you would have to wear pajamas all the time to like get the Saturday morning feel going.
Yeah.
You would have to have breakfast of like some kind of hyper sugary cereal, and then you would just like have a big TV in your room that you would like sit in and just like watch, catch up with that stuff. It might be kind of cool. I could do that for a night. That'd be like a good retro nostalgia trip. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. The other answer that is a real answer that I want actually like right now is a cyberpunk hotel.
That would be cool. What would be like the rooms look like?
Well, I just want it to look like we're in the future. Like I'm tired of living in the present. Like I want to be in the far future. So just crazy and almost like unnecessary. Like a lot of cyberpunk stuff is like a lot of wires and just crazy goggles. And
That's
stuff.
what I think of. I think of wires. Wires is the first thing I think of.
Yeah. But I wouldn't mind just kind of like going into that. Like this is the existence right now. It's this. And there's like VR helmets in the rooms and there's like a lot of things you can like lock into. I don't know. Maybe they give you like an arm attachment and you can like put things in it. I don't know. Just be like a cyber. I don't know.
Go ahead.
No, I just don't. I don't think those are good answers now.
No, those are pretty good answers. I think the only other thing I would say off the top of my head was I would like to have like. I spend a lot of time like eating food and cooking food, and my wife and I are both pretty good cooks, and we like to think about food and do that when we get the chance. I think it would be cool if you had like a room, like a restaurant themed hotel, where if in your room there would be like a little compartment, right? So like you have your bed and your couch, your TV, like a balcony, whatever. But then there'd be like a wall dedicated to like a bar, right? And it would kind of look like if you go to like a teppanyaki restaurant or something like that, like what's that one Japanese restaurant where you go and the people they have like the grill that's in front of you? Benihana.
Yeah.
You been to Benihana before?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. if there's like a Benihana like in your room and like, like it's closed. So like if you need to get busy with your wife or you just want some privacy, like there's no one there. But when it's dinner time, like the wall opens up and like a little chef comes out and he can be like, just make like whatever you want. Like you challenge this guy to be like, oh, I want you to make me a shark sandwich. And your friend is like, I want like a lobster soup. And then the dude's got to like, just like make it for you like on the spot. That'd be pretty fun.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I can't get the visual out now because you said if you want to get busy with the wife and you're like, don't worry, they won't be there. But then the wall's right there. So, like, all of a sudden you're getting busy with your wife and it opens up and you're like, hey, you guys want some food? Oh, well, don't mind me. I'll just be here.
Leave the pizza rolls and get the fuck out, okay?
No, it's fine. I'm just behind this wall the whole time.
We're workshopping it. It's not a done deal. There's no financing on this hotel yet. We're still working out the kinks.
Working out the kinks. Right. Come on. It's in the thing you said.
There we go. All right. Thank you very much for that question, Milana, and thank you for listening. Final question comes from Dolores Cheek, returning questioner. Maybe she's going to have one for us next week as well. Thank you very much for your question again, Dolores. Always a pleasure. She says, when you are old, Carlos, when you are old, what do you think children will ask you to tell stories about?
Well, I'm old already, so that part's already done. And what
You're not that old. You're not that old.
Oh, listen to this voice. This is a grizzled old man, and he's been here for way too long, and he's a little bit tired. All right, and by little I mean a lot. What are they? Well, it's almost what they'll ask me now. I think they'll ask me about old school video games, like early video and early video games. And I'm saying this based on like experience. So I was, not to pat my own back, but I was at the beginning of like creating online video. Like I definitely was part of that early group. And I've got stories for days, which by the way, shameless plug, youtube.com/a lot of things. I'm starting to tell stories for my life. I think I'll talk about like early video, early internet, and video games, because I think all that stuff is moving such at a fast pace that I think they'll be like, what was it like when there was no internet? I mean, we can get that question now, right?
Exactly, sure. We could answer that. Yeah.
And then also, what was it like to play like early video games? We can get that answer now. But even further in the future, like, what is the format for games? Is it all in your, glasses? Is it a VR experience that's truly VR? And it's like, wait, you had to like look at it on a television? I don't understand. So yeah, I think video games, video, and the internet. I think those are things people would ask me.
I have a similar sort of answer. I actually do have kids, and my youngest is 10, and he does ask me, well, okay, most of the time he doesn't care. He doesn't want to know what I think or what I know. But when we do get in the storytelling mood, he will often ask questions, because to him everything is like a million years ago. And it's funny because when he will tell us, like, he'll tell me something and he'll be like, "Oh, Dad, I just read about this thing, or I saw this thing on TV. It was like super, super long time ago from the 80s, right?" And like he talks about it from it's like a million years ago, and it always kind of jars me a little bit. But like what he likes to hear stories about the most is just how our childhoods were different. So like I grew up most of my life way out in the woods, like way out super far from town. It was like at least 45 minutes to get to town. I was way out I lived near a lake. I was free roaming the forest, and just I would leave my house at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't come back until 5 o'clock at night. My parents had no idea where I was. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like doing crazy shit. I would like get in a boat and I would go out in the ocean, and I would just like go far out in the ocean. Wait, you got in a boat?
Holy shit.
I did. I had a boat. I would go to a lake and be gone all day long. I would go in the ocean, and we'd go far out in the fucking ocean, dude. We'd like watch for seals. We'd like fish like as far down as we could go. Like I did crazy shit. And so like me telling my son this story, his life is like so radically different from mine that it is fascinating to him to hear what a different background I had. Like, and I also said, I do the same thing that you mentioned too. Like, oh, we didn't have remote controls when I was a kid. I had no phone. We had no Google. We had, we could, look at you. You can pause a TV show whenever you want to. And we couldn't pause TV back in my day. And, like, I think just that kind of dichotomy of between his life and my life is really what he likes to hear the most. And it's always kind of like, oh my God, like, it seems like so far away. So I think that's what they really want to know. And I feel like in the future, we're going to have a whole lot more stories to tell, because I mean, God willing, we'll all be here and it'll be a fun time to tell stories. And I'm kind of wondering if it's going to be like, oh, tell us what it was like when this was a free country. Tell us what it was like when you could vote. It's gonna be dark.
Yeah,
What was
I know.
what was hot food like, Dad? What was
Shit.
that like?
No, it's gonna go back. It's gonna go back to the boat thing. We're gonna like the future's gonna be the boat.
Oh God, probably
The
What
past,
was-
the
oh,
past
God.
is the boat, and the future's the boat. By the way, not to leave that alone, I also did that where, so we're telling stories, but yeah, my mom would be like, "Okay, see you later," at the beginning of the day, and I'm like,
Yes.
"See you later. I got my knapsack. I'll talk to you when I talk to you." And
Oh, my
then
God.
it was just like into the woods. So I didn't have the ocean, but we were like in more suburban area. But there was always woods. Like we always lived near some sort of woods, and those woods were, in my mind, in a kid's mind, endless. Right?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure.
They're probably like 2 miles long, but it was forever. And so I would just go in there. This sounds funny just saying it. I just hit things with other things.
Just hit things with a
Just
stick.
hit things like, oh, here's a good stick. I love this. I'm just laughing at my own child version. I'm like, this stick will do. This will be a good one. For what, Carlos? You know, hitting things. And then I'd
That's
hit
what you
things.
did as a kid. You found a stick and you hit things. That's what you did.
Hit things and like hit things with other things, and then climb things. Like I was much more fearless than I am now. Like I'm not gonna climb that fence. You know, I could fall down and hurt myself. Like back then, I'm like, I'll climb the tallest thing I can see. What the fuck? Like go over there.
Yeah.
And
totally.
just
I mean, like yeah, exactly. Dude,
and
exactly.
hurt myself. Like I'd be fucking scratches all over me. Come back, and here's the thing. Like you said, we'd come back, and I'd have like twigs in my hair, fucking scratches on my face, like deep, deep scratches all over. And they're like, you better get in the bath. You know,
Yep.
Clean up before dinner. No questions asked.
Dude, no doubt, dude. Like, where you been? What'd you do? Nothing. Okay, cool. Oh, I mean,
I was hitting
nothing.
stuff.
But what happened to this? How'd you get this injury?
Yeah.
Where did you take a shit today? Like, did you eat any food? Like, did you drink any water? Like, what happened to you? Where did you go? Like, my parents couldn't give a shit, dude.
No.
They did not fucking care.
No. And by the way, I just realized that. Where did we go to the bathroom? I guess we just peed in the woods. And
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Anytime, anywhere. Yes.
And there was this little, just to finish this memory, there was this little, now this makes me sound like I'm 84 years old, but it was a penny, it was called Temple Dairy, and it was a little, like, convenience store, but they had penny candy. And it was still a thing back then, like
Wow.
penny and nickel and dime candy. And you would go in, and there's all these little, cubby holes or whatever they are with like candy in them, and they each have a price on each one, right? Like bulk foods today. But it was like literally there was 5 cent and 10 cent like now and laters and Tootsie Rolls and stuff. And I would make it out of the woods and like find my way to that little convenience store and get stuff and then go back in. It was fucking great.
It was good. Neither one of us died, so it was great,
No.
and I'm very happy. And I often think back and I wonder, how did my parents get away with being such terrible parents? Because I did so much dangerous shit and I almost died so many times. I would never in my wildest dreams send my 10-year-old kid off to the woods and be like, see you in 12 hours. Like, that is the craziest fucking thought to me. And yet that is exactly what I did when I was a kid. It is fucking bizarre.
I know you wouldn't, and this is a whole other podcast, but I think there's advantages to it. I do, because I do think there's a lot of coddling going on. I think there's a lot of social media rage and outrage around fucking bullshit, and like living the real world, and like before society, before civilization, like you and I were like fighting for ourselves. I think there's something to that. Maybe not to the extent of all day we're missing, but...
We went missing on a regular basis. Is what our childhood was.
Yeah. So maybe not that much, but I definitely think there's something to it. Like I feel, yeah.
I agree, and at the same time, as a parent who has a kid, I'm like, I am never ever doing that.
Yeah.
So, all right, thank you for the questions, Dolores Cheek. That was a fun trip down memory lane. Really appreciate it, and thank you again for listening. That's all the Q&A this week. Real quickly, Carlos, anything you're looking forward to in the future? Anything you've got your eye on vis-a-vis anything in your Eye on Gamesfield?
Eye on Gamesfield is 3 items. And if you're new to the show, basically these are games that I'm really excited about that I'll either be playing for the next episode or very, very shortly, and you'll expect to see them on a new episode.
I mean, to be fair, sometimes you're moderately excited about them.
That's true. All these I'm pretty excited about. One very excited about. Maneater, which we are both going to be playing, I think, before we talk about it.
I am going to try to play this. I'm trying to play it, but I heard, real briefly, that if you got to play it, PS4 is the way to go because apparently the Xbox One version, like, superheats your Xbox and locks it up.
What?
So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I heard it's similar for PC as well. So something about PC or Xbox is wigging that game out. I know the developers are working on a patch, so I was going to wait until a patch came through to play it. So we'll see what happens.
Well, that makes sense because PS4 does have that shark filter, built in to the system.
Very true. Superior.
It
clearly.
Is superior. Also, I'm going to finally review Darksburg for everybody. I know that was mentioned maybe 8 episodes ago or something. I apologize. It's a multiplayer game, so it's taking me a little longer to kind of review it and look it over. Should be next episode. And then what I'm playing, as soon as we finish this episode, I'm going to, pack it up and go over the PS4 and play Those Who Remain. Because
it's too scary for me.
Yeah, I know it's too scary for you, but it's actually, I hear in what I've researched, it's a psychological thriller, not horror per se, more actual thriller and more like delving into the mind and trying to like understand stuff about the human mind, which is much more my speed. So,
all right. Well, we shall see what we shall see, and we will cover these games probably next week.
Yep. And now I have no more voice because we just talked for 2 hours.
This was a long one, but that is it. The show is over. Thank you very much for listening, folks. Before we go, just a quick reminder: we love to get questions and comments, as you saw earlier when we did the Q&A. Please hit us up at sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. Also, hit us up on Twitter @sovideogames, but you can hit us up individually. That's probably the best way. Carlos, where can people reach out and find you this week?
Please go to youtube.com/a-lot-of-things, all one word, and check out stories. If you like these stories, well, man, I got more for you. And I'll be doing one a week probably, and it's called A Lot of Stories. youtube.com/ I can't speak anymore. It's done. youtube.com/a-lot-of-things.
Excellent. As for me, it's the same as usual. On Twitter, on Instagram, it's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And that is going to do it for episode 183. Thank you again for joining us here on the So Video Games Podcast. And we'll be back before you know it. But in the meantime, this is bye from Brad.
And Felix the Cat is awesome. And go back and watch those old cartoons. They're pretty good. I'm Carlos.